Hello, this is JB, and today I'm going to talk about how my brain tumor healed my family. Back in 2018, my mother, who was a great person, and the glue that held our family together, she died of a brain aneurysm. It was sudden. Um, just one day she got sick, and she went to the hospital, and she was there for a few days, 9 days, I think, and she passed away at the very end. And at that time, our whole family came together because it was a tragic experience, and so we all supported each other and helped each other, and made the experience, as bad as it was, as good as it could possibly be considering the circumstances. But then, as time went on, uh, everyone was suffering because we lost my mother. My dad lost his wife, my brother, my sister, and I lost our mother, and then all of um, other family members lost their family member. And of course, her friends and our coworkers and community members, they all lost her as well. But for the family, like as time went on, we were all suffering. We were all, um, what is the right word? I just lost the word. But we were all grieving, and it was hard. And there ended up being some disagreements about some things, even though we had been working well and we had been agreeing on things before, right around the time of her death. As time went on, there were some fractures and there were some disagreements and there were some um, uh, different perspectives about how things should be. And they turned really bad. They turned into like really bad arguments. And I have always been kind of separate from my family, but I became even more separated, and some of it was my fault. And but there was a point to where uh, some members of my family um, said that they didn't love me, they didn't care what happened to me, and that I should uh, die alone. And I said things too that were just as harsh, if not more harsh. And all of this was in anger because when a disagreement starts, it's just a disagreement. But as there becomes hostility, it becomes even worse, and the feelings become hardened. Um, so you just go from having a simple disagreement to hard feelings where people are really mad at each other. And that's what happened there. And we weren't on good terms. And when we did talk, it wasn't friendly. It wasn't cordial. It wasn't the way you would expect to talk to other family members. And this went on for a really long time. And I just resigned myself to the idea that it was never going to get better and there was no reason to try, and it was just over, and I was going to live the rest of my life however I lived it. And then at some point, I thought, you know, I would pass on, and um, I would just die. And like, I didn't really have that many connections with my family anymore. And I thought, my stuff will just be taken out by my landlord, set out by the street, thrown in the dumpster, and whatever I had would just be picked over, and whatever I had in my bank accounts and stuff would just be taken by creditors or whoever, and that would be it. But in August of last year, August 4th, I had a great day. August 3rd was a great day, but then a little after midnight, I had a health incident and I had to go to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they couldn't figure out what was wrong, so they did some tests and figured out that I had a brain tumor. I had a very large brain tumor. It was about the size of a tangerine. It's right here. And when this happened, I contacted my family, even though we weren't on good terms, and I contacted friends who were the same as family, or in some ways uh, more. But my friends who are my family, they said that they were going to be there and they were going to help me, and no matter what. And my family, my brother, sister, and dad, they immediately were there for me. Not physically because they live in North Carolina and I live in Wisconsin, but they let everything go, just like that, just gone. I mean, there were, like I say, there was a lot of tension, but they just let it go, and they started talking to me different. The tone and the words, everything was different, and they uh, the grudges that were there were gone. And even my dad's new wife, he remarried after my mother died. Uh, we didn't have very good terms because um, I don't know her. I know her a little better now, but I didn't know her at all then. And I felt like part of the reason that my dad and our relationship was disintegrating was because of her. And but my brother, who I had said some very harsh things about publicly, um, he said, "You're my brother. I love you. You're not alone. I care about you. You're gonna be okay." All these really positive things that made me feel better. And my sister has always been a sweet person, and I mean, she can throw some jabs and she can use words like a sword, but but she's always been a sweet person. And so she was there, and she said, "We love you. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna beat this, and all of that." And so, and my dad too. My dad was like, uh, I was his buddy again. I he was worried about me. He was talking to the doctors. He was trying to figure out what uh, he was going to need to do, or what my situation was, so he could help me. And he was there for me. And my dad's wife, she sent me a text. She was so kind to me. She was so nice, and she was saying that she was thinking about me, and I think she said she was praying for me. And so it was all goodwill. No, nobody was saying, "Oh, Jarrett, one time you said this, or one time you, whatever." They just let it go, and that made it easier for me because uh, if the surgery had gone wrong, I could have died, or not gone wrong, but if it wouldn't have worked out the way that it did, I could have died, or I could have been permanently or temporarily disabled, like unable to do all the things physically and cognitively that I've always been able to do. And I could have been in a very vulnerable state where I couldn't take care of myself. Like I would have to have someone feed me and help me use the bathroom and do all the things, and I might have been stuck in a chair, just like not able to do anything, not able to interact with the world, and that scared the shit out of me because that's what I do. Like I talk, I write, I think, I express myself, and I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to do those things. And luckily, the doctor uh, performed the surgery, and everything worked out. And all the people who work at the hospital, and there's so many of them, you never even think about how many of them, but there's nurses and CNAs and um, people that, what they call it, nutritionists, and the people that clean the room, and the people that make sure that all the technology is working and that you have everything that you're supposed to have, You have clean towels. You have uh, warm blankets. You have warm or clean linens and all this stuff. And the people that make sure you got the right food and that it's warm and that it comes at the right time and it's what you ordered. And the people that keep the hospital clean and keep it orderly. So like when you walk around, you can get where you're supposed to go, and like so many things that you don't even think about because you just expect them. Like there's so many people involved, and so the doctor did it, but so did all the other people. But because of them and because of the way that my family treated me in that time, it made it so much easier for me because I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to feel alone. I didn't have to feel depressed. I didn't have to cry. Uh, Although I did some of that. Uh, I I could just focus on getting through the surgery, coming out the other end, assessing the situation, and then responding. And luckily, when I woke up from the anesthesia, I had a friend there, and I recognized him, and I squeezed his hand, and I said his name. I actually tried to hug him, but I was all connected to all sorts of machines and stuff, so he put me down, he kept me from getting up. But because he's a hugger and I'm not, but I hugged him because I saw him because I know he's a hugger. But I knew I was going to be okay. And even after I knew I was going to be okay, and so did everybody else, they were still there. And even today, they're still there. Like, there were years where we didn't talk, and when we did talk, it wasn't friendly. But now I talk to my brother and sister all the time, almost every day. Maybe not every day, but pretty close. And we have good conversations, have good memories, and support each other. Like today, yesterday, my sister had to take a big test, and I was supporting her. And when I took a big test a little while back, she supported me. She said, "You're going to do it. You're going to get it. It's going to be great." And when I've recently had a very serious situation happen where it was very concerning, she took my call late at night and talked me through it. And my brother did too, and so did my dad. So it made it better. And because of how they acted, they showed grace and they showed mercy because they could have said, "Oh, fuck him. Uh, he was a jerk to me. He was an asshole, and so I'm going to be an asshole back." But they didn't. They said, "No, he's sick. He could die, and he needs us. So what we're going to do is we're going to be there for him." And that was an act of love because they didn't have to. They could have said, "He didn't treat me the way I like," or "He said something I didn't like, and so fuck him. Let him die." But they didn't do that. And I appreciate that. And I always appreciate that. Because, I mean, you would hope everyone would be like that all the time, but not all people are. Like, they're just not. And I think I try to be, and I think I always have been. When people need me, I try to be there, even if they're not my close friend or I don't have the warmest feelings about them. I try to be there because when people are at a moment of weakness, at a moment of vulnerability, they need people there to show kindness. And so my family did that for me. And since they did that for me, I was able to let go of everything that I had, that feelings that I had towards them are anger and uh, other feelings that are negative that you don't like to have uh, and that aren't helpful that I had towards them. I was able to let those go, and it was like freeing. It was liberating because I didn't have that pent up anymore. I was just freed of it, and so that has made the last however long it's been now, 7, 8 months of my life much better. and they said, Jerry, you're different now. And I hope that I haven't changed. I hope that their perception of me just changed. But what they say is that I'm different and that, like, my um, personality is different. And I don't think it changed because of the surgery. But they say that I'm easier to talk to and I'm nicer and I'm more friendly and more positive. And I hope that I've always been that way, but that's not what they saw. And so they like that more, and that's helped them too to be able to interact with me better, and so it's like they helped me, and since they were kind to me, I was able to be kinder to them, and it's made our family so much better because we have so many photos from the 80s. We were little, me and my brother hugging each other, him kissing me on the lips one time. When I was little, I was 3 years old, and he was 3 or 4. I have so many pictures of me holding my little baby sister, who's not a little baby anymore. Uh, so many photos of us, like, holding squirt guns, like it was the best gift we ever got. Um, Crawling around the thing, playing in the whatever you call that, the pin, the not cradle, but the thing where you put the little kids. Uh, all those like precious memories from long ago, and it's almost 40 years now. Um, it all came back like that, and all the negative interactions that happened, they still happened, and they still remember. They didn't just suddenly forget, but they decided, I suppose, it appears, to focus on the fact that no matter what I've done or said or anything else during my life, um, that it's over. And that at the end of the day, I'm still their brother. In my dad's case, I'm still his son. And that they love me because we're related. And because uh, even if I'm not perfect, and I'm not, um, I'm still their family. And so the fact that they were willing and able to do that was really big because they could have been small. Like I already said, they could have said, fuck that guy, but they didn't. And the way that they reacted gave me strength, and it made it easier on me because I didn't have to worry about all that stuff and I could focus on getting better. And I did. I got better amazingly fast. They said at one point that I was going to be 2 or 3 months in inpatient rehabilitation. And on the second day after this surgery, I was walking around talking shit. Not talking shit, but like telling the story of everything that happened, and I was feeling good. And day 3 and 4, I walked so much that they claimed I walked 7 miles in the hospital. I don't think I did. I think it was closer to 1 mile, but I was walking a lot, and they were trying to convince me that I had walked enough. So I was feeling good, and I was back to telling stories like I do, telling jokes. I was joking with the nurses and the doctors, and I had them rolling, and I was feeling good. I was feeling positive about the future. I had a big test, the LSAT, to go to law school, and I had it rescheduled because I was supposed to take it the same day of the brain surgery, but you can't do that. And so I had it rescheduled, and I took it 28 days later, and I did well enough to get into a couple law schools, good ones. One of them I'm going to go to, and so it all worked out, and now I can go on and be the person that I've always aimed to be, which is a good person who tries to do good things and to live positively and breathe that positivity into other people and help them do the same thing so they can do that and breathe positivity into even more people. But now that's possible because of my family, and I'm grateful to them. I've told them that. I've told them how much that uh, their act, their decision, uh, what that did for me, what that did for my life, and how much I appreciate it and everything else. But I guess what I'm getting at here is that when there's a difficult time, when someone needs you, even if uh, there are hard feelings or there's not a very strong relationship at the moment, temporarily, because of something that happened, be there for them. Like my family was there for me. Let's say you and your husband or your wife or significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case, you separated, but then they get sick or they get in a car accident, they lose their job. Be there for them. Even if you can't give them money or fix all their problems, just be there. Just say, hey, I know about what's going on. Sorry this is happening to you. If you need something, you call me, and if I can give it to you, I'll give it to you. And if I can't, I'll at least talk to you, and I'll help you, and I'll support you, and I'll be there for you. Be your friend. You got a friend. And I think doing that, uh, just showing the goodwill by itself, even if you don't come in there like Bill Gates and fix everybody's problems, you just showing the goodwill and showing that you care uh, makes people feel good. The same way that getting those calls and those texts and those emails and Facebooks and all that from my family gave me strength, and it made it easier for me. And just one more time, I want to reemphasize the fact that my family didn't have to do what they did, what they did it. And that was on their part, or that was a tribute to them. Not because I deserved it, not because they had an obligation to. There's no rule, there's no law, there's no nothing that says that they had to do that. They just did it because uh, they had it in their heart to do it. And they loved me enough that they wanted me to feel it. And so they showed that to me. And that's that. But everything that I've said is my story about how my brain tumor uh, healed my family. If that brain tumor had not happened to me, and it was not fun, I didn't enjoy it. It was shocking, it was scary, it was very concerning because you need your brain. You know, if they had taken an arm, I still got another one, so I'm fine. But just my brain, this is very central to who I am and what I do. So it was a big deal. But if that had not happened, maybe things would have just stayed the way they were. Our relationship, as broken as it was, would have just stayed broken. But because this very serious situation happened, it gave us all an opportunity to reassess our um, positions and the way that we looked at each other and the way we treated each other. And we all made some different decisions, and we uh, adjusted to meet the situation and to be there for each other. So I'm grateful in a way that this happened because it gave us an opportunity to move forward. You know, it I wouldn't wish a brain tumor on anybody. Um, and I've experienced it, so I don't want anybody else to experience it. But I hope that other people have situations where they're able to all stop, think about what's going on, think about how to fix it and make it better. Because that's what happened to my family. My life is better for it. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.